Yes, Maha, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Maha. So, see, let me just give you a brief of the NEET pattern and all. Basic pattern, now you must be aware how many questions are there, what is the total marks. 180 questions are there in total. Earlier in between you had a pattern change where you got two sections. One was an optional section where questions were given, where some of the questions could be left. And right now you have 180 pattern where 180 questions will be there, and how this 180 is distributed. This is distributed into 4 groups. First group is your botany. Second group is the zoology. But see, you don't have to do anything for botany and zoology separately. Okay, this will be combined in your one single NCERT, not one single, two, because NEET is consisting of both your 11th and 12th. Okay, both the portions. So botany and zoology will be dealt from the biology. Biology is book must be one thick book of 11th. Similarly, you have a book of class 12th as well. Then you have chemistry and you have physics. Now see, 45 questions each. So bio has the highest section. This is 45, 45. So bio will be having the highest. Okay, because this is half of the paper. 360 marks are for your biology. 360 marks are for your bio. Okay, total is 720 paper. The total marks that you have, total marks, this is 720 marks, out of which 360 is taken by bio. Then 180 marks you have for chemistry and 180 marks there for physics. So this is how your PCB is divided into the various courses. So out of 720, see ma, here you will get the quota also in for the NEETs whenever counseling will be done. But still, for the safer side, you should try to score maximum in biology. Why am I saying this? Why not physics? Why bio? Because see, when the rankings are done, I hope you know the ranks are finally made. And on the basis of not your score, on the basis of the rank, you will be allotted a college here. And now you are in India only, right? Your 11th and 12th will be done from India. So your domicile also will be from your Hyderabad. Okay. No, you're in Hyderabad?
Near Hyderabad, in Telangana itself.
Okay, in Telangana. All right. So yes, so your domicile will now be considered of your state. Okay. This won't be considered. Earlier it was there where from wherever you do your 11th and 12th, the domicile is given for that state. So see, the state domicile will be applied, and apart from the quotas and everything, after that also the rankings, whoever, let's say two students are there who have scored the same marks in biology, same marks in the NEET paper. Let's say somebody has scored 418 and you've also scored 418. Okay. Now see who has to be given a weightage. So there is a criteria for it. So first is that the marks from the bio, whoever has gained more marks in biology will be given a greater rank. Then if marks in bio are also same, then other subjects are seen. If they are also the same, then the age is seen. So like this, there's a whole criteria for the ranks that are allotted. So that's why bio you have to do well in bio. Okay. But the problem is that just doing good in bio will not help you. Physics and chemistry have equal good weightages. Together they combine 360 marks paper. So out of this 360, you should be able to score very well. Questions come from your NCERT. Now, don't exclude the front sheet where the author, some detailings about the author is mentioned when you open the NCERT. When there's a description about the unit and all, that small page written in small font is there. So that you need to revise. Okay, from there the portions come from this biology part. But problem is that if you see the recent NEETs paper which came this year, it was tough because of physics. So mostly the students are able to score in bio because usually the questions are from your NCERT class 11th and 12th. Okay. So the scoring part from where you will lead, where you will cross the score and get a good score, is determined by the other two subjects, especially physics. Chemistry's level always stays moderate. Okay, it won't be very difficult, it won't be very easy. Chemistry will have a good level. Bio, some questions will be tough. Most of the questions, average questions, are from your NCRT itself. Okay, but regarding physics, physics is a factor that will determine your. So for physics, don't just study everything. Like for biology, you need to study each and every word of NCRT properly, thoroughly. You need to revise it. But for physics, let me tell you a little bit weightage about class 11. Class 12, I'll tell you in class 12. For class 11, right now, let's just focus on that. Okay. For class 12, I'll tell you later on because right now you're not aware of the chapter. So it's useless to tell you from class 12. The portions that will be used in dimensional analysis, that I'll tell you. But this is very important. This pattern, and this you should know in the first class itself, because once this is done, it won't ever be repeated. You will have your mock test. You have to give a lot of mock tests, not right now, but I'm just targeting for your NEET, not for the school's NEET, which
Will Learnivio provide mock tests?
here, yes,
Yeah.
provide. Okay, see, more mock tests are given in class 12 because here your 11th class sometimes get disturbed by most of the students because 11th classes chapters are very in detail and the weightage is also very high. Tough chapters are there. Students are not even able to score a normal decent score in class 11. So NEET's level, JEE's level is tough. So initially we won't take any of your test. You score well in the subjective weekly test, that will help you. Okay, at the end, we'll begin with the test for class 11. For class 12th, you have the tests. Okay. So, see, when we are talking about the weightage part of all the chapters that come, I'll be talking about both the books, your first book as well as second book. So, right now, you are not very much aware about the portions that are there in your. What happened, ma?
Ma'am,
Are you
I have a headache.
distracted? You are having a headache, or somebody is there? Just make yourself isolated while studying. It's just 1 hour class we have. See, in the class 11, you have the first book, kinematics part is there. Before this, the chapter that we did, units and dimensions. Okay, dimensional analysis chapter we have done. So for the dimensional analysis chapter, there is a chapter in NCRT, physical world. The chapter is there, physical world. In this, your dimensional analysis part will come, dimensions will come.
Ma'am, will all the chapters from class 11 be asked?
Yes, everything. From 11th and 12th, everything will be asked. Anything can be asked. You could take out any paper. Okay, units will be asked, then measurement part. This is asked, and error analysis is a topic that is asked from the first chapter. Then you have kinematics and so on that we'll be discussing later on. Now, see, when we talk about the class 11th portion, there's a chapter oscillation and waves that holds a good weightage here also. But your kinematics is a very basic part that will covering the first book, and most of the questions come from your kinematic. But see, the entire, when I talk about the 11th and 12th portion, major portion is from your 12th class that comes in the NEET. Okay, the major portion is from your electrostatics unit that you will study when you go in class 12th. The first major unit is the electrostatics unit. Okay, so electrostatics unit will take a major portion, then your optics unit will take a portion from class 12. Then after them, your kinematics will take a portion. Then you have your SHM and waves, these are there. Okay, taking good portion. And after this is your thermal physics, where you have the chapter thermodynamics. This is a pattern that is usually observed in here. Now I'll be starting with this physical world. Dimensions, I'll not be giving a lot of time because dimensions chapters are more or less same. Few quantities of class 12th I'll tell you here because nobody does that in class 12th. When you enter class 12th, units and dimensions are just kept away. And if you at least have them in your notes, so while you are revising for NEET or something, you will have. So few dimensions of class 12th I'll tell you, which come in the NEET paper combined with class 11 portion. Regarding the units that are already done, exact same units are there. Nothing special is there in the units part. So we'll not be doing that. Measurement part we'll do, and error analysis will be a fresh topic, but this error analysis I'll do it in the next class, okay? When your headache is gone. Okay. So now I'll start with dimensions, but for that, just do one thing, write the pattern and all, Maha. Okay, write the pattern, write the weightage. First this,
I'll
second
just
will
take the screen.
okay, take the screenshot then.
Done. Done.
All right, Mas. Let me come to the dimensions part. In today's class, I'll discuss the dimensions and good questions that have come in the exam previous year's questions. I'll try to discuss with you. In the next class, I'll start with error analysis because this chapter shouldn't take much time. One class for dimensions, one for error. And if needed one more, then straight away we'll start with motion in a straight line. Now see, talking about electric force, certain portion, these are from your class 12. Okay, these topics, this is from your class 12. So just make it so that you don't pay much attention to it for your final exams of class 11. But few quantities only I'll tell you that can come in combination with the portions of class 11. Few quantities, like your electric force. Electric force is just a force. You take any kind of force. You take gravitational force, you take electrostatic force, any force is there. The electric force is basically given by Coulomb's law. So that you'll do it in class 12, but the dimensional analysis will be the same. Dimensions will be the same. So whether it's your electric force or your magnetic force, because from class 12, you have these two forces only, electric force and magnetic force. The formula for the force remains the same. What's the formula for a force? Dimensional formula.
MLT negative square.
Negative?
Square.
Yes, right. ml t to the power minus 2 because it is mass into acceleration force, so same, so there won't be a change. So they can give you forces in combination because forces are a part of your class 11th laws of motion, right? But these are electric forces, magnetic forces, centripetal force, centrifugal, any force you hear, that will be the same. Now charge is important. Second, charge can be given to you. See, largest dimensions are A into T. Okay. Now see, what is charge equal to? When
And
I,
what's A?
yes, that's what I'm telling you. See, current is basically equal to charge divided by time. Okay. So from here we can say charge is equal to current multiplied to time. Now the dimensional formula for current is ampere, written as A, and time is just T. So that's why this is written as AT. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this you can just write the explanations from here. This is one important that can come start. Now there's a concept of electric field. There's a concept of electric potential that you don't do. But what you can do for this is electric potential energy. Okay. Electric potential energy. Now, why this? Because all the kinds of energies that are present in your syllabus, they have the same dimensions I told you, if you remember. The formula of the work done. Okay, whatever is the formula of the work done, that will remain exactly the same. So here also, this is energy. Energy will have the same dimensions of the energy that you have done. What was it? Remember?
ML
Force?
negative square. T square.
No, ml square. T to the power minus 2. Okay. So this will remain the same. This is the portion again from your class 11. So this should be remembered by you. Now, one thing that is important is the gravitational constant. This has been asked a lot in the exam. I'll show you a question also. Last just came in 2021's paper, gravitational constant, and we did that in the class as well. So gravitational constant will also be there. And I hope you remember we did a question where we had, remember, F is equal to, I told you a formula, G m1 m2 by r square, and we had to find out the dimensions of this G. So similarly here, when you calculate, masses are square and one mass is there in the force. This has the formula m to the power minus 1. Now see, r square goes up, there is nothing to cancel r, while the force is L, right? The force is L, so that will become L cube. And what about the time? Time is there from the force. So t to the power minus, this is it. Few things which I'm writing here, you should remember. You should remember these additional things apart from what is done in the class. Okay. One more thing, current, electric current. Electric current, it's a fundamental quantity. Its dimension is, if you remember the 7 things that we discussed, 7 fundamental quantities, we discussed this. There was a table, I told you, M mass, length, time, and then it was this electric
Yeah.
current. Yes, so this is from your fundamental quantity. So this should be remembered even in this class. Just one more quantity, last quantity, that is the drift velocity. What is this? Drift velocity is basically the velocity with which the electrons are moving. Okay, within the wire. That velocity is called as a drift velocity. But that won't change your dimensions. Dimensions will be m0 lt to the power minus 1. That's it. So these are the quantities from class 12th that are just similar to your class 11th. Except I think charge, you don't have anything else. But charge, that too, charge is from your electric current, where electric current is already a quantity that is fundamental. So you should remember that. So write down this thing, Maha, and write it just as class 12, but these things you should remember. Okay. Then straight away I'll move on to the questions. Okay, please write it.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, look, let's look at this question. This is a question from your 2023's paper. Now, the combination of questions are from your 11th and 12th. As I told you, dimensions will not have a pure question from just 11th or just 12th. Okay. When we are talking about Young's modulus, we discussed in the class, we discussed about these three at least. Okay. Just only one is mentioned, one work function is just new. So, see, Young's modulus, if you remember, Young's modulus was the ratio of stress by strain. This will come in your solids chapter. Regarding strain is dimensionless. Okay, no dimension for. These things we have already done in our initial classes, so have those notes with you so that you can just refer to it. See, stress's formula is pressure is force divided by area. This is force divided by area. This is the formula of stress. So one thing I'll tell you from here. Second, coefficient of viscosity. Let me brief you with coefficient of viscosity. For this, we did a numerical. This I didn't make you write in the table. Eta was the symbol. So F was equal to eta dV over dx into area. This was the formula. Okay. So from here, coefficient of viscosity was written as force into displacement divided by area into change in the velocity. Okay, so see, from here you have the coefficient of viscosity. Third is the Planck's constant. That I told you is a pure complete topic from class 12, but we discussed it. I told you this, that Planck constant is what? The Planck's constant is basically the ratio of energy by frequency. Okay. And what is frequency? Frequency is 1 by time period. This is energy. Okay. Now the last new quantity, that is their work function. This work function at this level, just understand that this is energy. The term work function is given, which looks as if something this is, but this is pure energy. Energies of electrons when they are present in the metallic substances. Okay. I have broken down everything for you. Now you first write down these hint points and then tell. First, have you written the question? You were writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, only half.
Okay. So just write down these hint points first, and then using this, now you will be able to tell me what is that. Okay. Just match them. A, B, C, D. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was actually a question of match the following, and the options had all the values with it. A to 2, A to 3, like this, all the options were. But you try this question first. And then one more question we'll discuss.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Ma'am, can you show the question again?
Yes, ma'am. What is your answer?
No, I haven't phoned it out yet. Ma'am, for the first one, the Young's models uses stress by strain, right?
Yes,
So strain is dimensionless, like,
correct.
and then stress equals force, right?
Stress equals force upon area.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see, Maha, now stop. Let me tell you one thing. When you have such questions, like here, I haven't written all the four options were there. You will remember one thing in your NEET paper, you don't have maths,
No.
only PCB, no? So you will be just appearing for NEET. So here you will only have a single correct answer, single choice correct answer. In JEE, sometimes multiple answer are also right. So NEET, it's just one single answer. It means out of all the four options, you know one thing, that only one option out of the four is correct. So you can do some elimination method. What you can do, work function is equal to energy that I told you. So look, Maha, we just discussed. Can you see ml square t to the power minus 2?
Ma'am, Young's model is equal to the third one.
Yes, right. Young's modulus will be equal to the third one, correct. So look, first what you should do, work function you should eliminate that, okay, this is it. This is at least with this ml square t to the power minus 2 because this has the dimensions of energy. Okay. Then see, for Young's modulus, what you should do, strain is dimensionless, stress is force upon area. By the end of the session and when you reach 12, these things will be very easy for you. Stress and strain formula. It's like now you know the formula of, let's say, something that we have done, force, MA. So this is not difficult for you to understand now. So similarly, you will be able to get it. But yes, you're right. This is third part. Now see, coefficient of viscosity, there is no chance. You have to calculate it. Okay. But see, if you remember the value of this Planck's constant, if somehow you remember the value of this Planck's constant, actually the value of this Planck's constant, yes, what is it out of 1 and 2? Because only these are left. Energy by frequency.
Ma'am, Planck's constant is equal to the second one.
Yes, right. So see, Planck's constant is this, and finally this will be equal to this. You don't need to calculate. So the I'll tell you one more thing, Maha. Before you go into this chapter, two things you should remember. One was that table I told you from the fundamental. After fundamental, we discussed few quantities. I told you to remember work done, velocity, acceleration, force. Few things I marked the star. Remember displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, and work done. These five things I've told you to remember. In that table, add 2 points. Two more points you should remember. At any value, you should remember these two: the gravitational constant and the Planck's constant. Planck's constant is actually represented by a symbol h. These two you should remember their values, means so that you don't calculate them. This is the gravitational constant, that to the universal gravitational constant, and this is the Planck's constant. Remember their values, just learn it. You will find most of the questions after 2013, not in fact after 2011. The questions in earlier it was AIPMT, recently it was introduced as NEET after 2013. So in AIPMT's paper, NEET's paper, any paper, you will find lots of questions based on these two: gravitational constant and Planck's constant. These are filled. In fact, the questions have come write the dimensions of the Planck constant, means identify the dimension of the Planck's constant out of the four options. So if you remember, it will save your time, and you will notice most of the questions will have these two values throughout this chapter. Okay, so remember them. Now see, if you remember it, now look at this question. How to solve? See, calculation, finally getting the calculation you will be able to do, I know. But there are certain tricks and tips that you should know that will ease your calculation. One is, see, Planck constant and work function, if you remember, out of four options, you will be able to eliminate two at least, where C is matching with 2 and D is matching with 4. The only confusion will be left between whether A is 3 or A is 1 or B is 1 or B is 3. Okay, two options eliminated, two options are left. Now see, out of coefficient of viscosity and Young's modulus, if you tell the answer of one, it will be automatically said that the other is the leftover option. So out of these two, solving Young's modulus is better because this has stress, which is just force upon area. So you just need to divide a quantity which you remember with a quantity which you already remember, instead of solving this whole thing. Okay, Maha? Got
Okay.
it? All right. One more question was there, which I think we have not discussed, but this is a question that came in your 21st paper, which is purely based on your 11th classes question, because most of the questions that you have are a combination of your 11th and 12th. Okay, both of these. So this is a chapter that involves, the few questions are there that will have only the topics of your class 11th. So write this, Ma, tell me the answer for this. This came in your 2021's paper.
E means energy, right?
Yes, E is energy, it's given. E is energy, G is gravitational constant.
The first option.
Which option, Maha?
First.
Yes, right. First, E by C. Okay. So more than this, there are many questions that have involved the Planck's constant and gravitational constant. So for both of them, you should just remember the values as it is. There is one more question. Let me discuss it. Okay. Or I'll give you that in the homework. It's similar to this. You'll be able to do that. Now, based on this topic, you have within the dimensions, we discussed a topic that was derivation of a formula. Remember? Derivation of a formula. Forgotten? A quantity is there which will be proportional to three things, x, y, z. We take the values a, b, c, which
Oh,
will,
this? Yeah, I remember this.
yes, so this is. So based on this, also the questions have come. The least one has come from the unit conversion, the conversion of units. Because if somebody asks you what is 1 Newton into how many dyne, so why would you do it through the method of dimensional analysis, right? So you'll just mark the option 10 to the power 5. Nobody knows how have you done. Have you remembered it? So in your school exams, you have to solve it. So that's why this is not asked. Usually this part is least asked in the NEET paper. You will hardly find questions from this. Rarely the questions are like this only. Once a question can convert 1 angstrom into dash meter like this. So there's a whole table for it that I'll tell you in the next class, because when we'll do this units part, no, from here, I'll tell you all the units that are there, so that you will be ease at conversion also, and that will help you in your regular class exams also. Now, this derivation of a formula, remember what we used to do? We just used to equate the MLT's power from this side equal to some constant MLT's power on the other side, right? And we used to
Yeah.
find out the value of A, B, and C. Based on this, there's one question. Let me just discuss with you. Just okay, see, this question also came in the NEET paper. It says if force, acceleration, and time are chosen as the fundamental quantities. This means we know that M, L, T, these are our fundamental quantities, and nothing out of those 7 quantities can be considered as a quantity which will be used as fundamental. Okay. So you have to determine the dimensions of energy here, the dimensions of energy, but using force, acceleration, and time. So the questions will always have this language that these are chosen as the fundamental quantities, calculate the dimension of this. This means you just have to use this derivation of a formula part. Means we'll say that the energy depends on force, acceleration, and time. Same values. Then you will have to choose something. Let's say X, Y, Z. Now you know the dimensions of energy, you know the dimensions of force, acceleration, and time. So using those only X, Y, Z, you have to write the value. So that will give you, that won't give you a formula, but whatever values you will get, just put brackets, that will give you your answer. Like see, energy, what is the dimension?
ml square t raised to negative square.
Yes, ml to the power 2, t to the power minus 2 is equal to some constant. Now here you don't have to be very careful in with writing this constant and all. It's just that you have to get the answer correct. Final answer should be right. And you will not even have a blank to write. Okay, in NEET pattern, everything is fixed. Just multiple choice questions. Now force is mlt to the power minus 2. Acceleration is lt to the power minus 2, while time is just t. So here they'll have the same values. This is force. So this will be x throughout. This is the dimension of acceleration. So y. So this is z. And what do? We multiply it with the individual quantities. Right. So what we'll get here, if we multiply, I'm ignoring m to the power x, l to the power x, t to the power minus 2x. From here, L to the power y, t to the power minus 2y, and from here t to the power z, equating with what? Ml square t to the power minus 2. Now see, what should mass be written as? Now equate.
X
Is equal to
1.
1. Exactly. You have the answer, x is equal to 1. You assumed it for the force. Now see, force, everywhere you have the force as 1. So we cannot eliminate the options. Do this, make this habit of eliminating the options. Sometimes options are very easy. If you see 2021's paper, this year's paper, 21's, many questions were there which could have been just eliminated through the options. X is equal to 1. Now this becomes x plus y, that's it, equal to 2. 1 plus y is equal to 2. Y is equal to 1. One of the option gets eliminated. D is not the answer, right? Because this is also 1, all these are 1. So your now time will determine the final answer. So this is minus 2x minus 2y minus z is equal to minus 2. But here you already know the answer. This is 1, so minus 2. This is 1, so minus 2 minus z is minus 2. Minus 4 minus z is minus 2. Minus z is equal to 2. Z is equal to minus 2. So t to the power minus 2 should be a minus 1 is there. This is minus 4. 4 minus 2 is minus 4 minus 2 is 2. Z is minus 2. This is minus 2. This is minus 2. Minus z is equal to minus 2, right? So minus 4 minus z is 2. So minus z will be 4 minus 2 minus z is 2. They have given positive value. Answer has to be positive, it means. Minus 2x from this time. Minus 2y from here. Okay, this is positive. Yes, right. Z is positive. Here we don't have a negative Z. So this will be positive 2. So B option will be the answer. Okay, Z is not given. I took that as negative. B option will be the. All right, so see same steps now, the one which we have studied already. Write this question. Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, Maha, this is a question of 2014's paper, but a very, very easy question which will be completed within 2 minutes. So just tell me what's your answer coming. And in the next class, we'll complete units and I'll start with error. Main is important is your error analysis because that we have not discussed. It's just a portion of it. But please, Maha, revise this topic. I'll give you a few questions in the assignment. Okay, Maha. See, I'll tell you one quicker method to solve this. Okay. You've tried?
No, I just wrote down the question right now.
Okay, you've just written the question. Okay, let me discuss this. See, here, this also can be solved through this method. M is directly proportional to FVT. This X, Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever, right? And whatever dimensions we'll get will be this answer. Yes?
Okay.
See, with this method, it will take a lot of time. The way, see, these questions take. So what you do, if you find a relation between all the three components, then don't go with this method. Because you just have to find the final answer by any means. Any means by solving, right? But by any method. Why to follow this lengthy one? You can get your answer through this that will whatever values you will get, let's say here it will be, let's say f to the power 1, so this x will come out to be 1, whatever you solve. And it is obvious also, see, mass here is given m as 1. Okay, so when you put in the values, here also force will have the power, will have mass in it, ml
Yeah.
square mlt to the power minus 2. Yeah, but still this is a lengthy method if you find a relation between all the four quantities that are given. Now see, what are the quantities, Maha? Force is there, velocity is there, time is there, and it is saying mass is depending on these two. So if you are able to find the relation, if not, then Maha, you have no option, you have to go through this method like this one. Okay,
I mean, only
then
force has mass in it, right?
forces,
Only force has mass in it over here.
no, see, f is equal to ma, yes,
Yeah.
a is v by t, so f is equal to mv by t. Mass will be equal to force into time by velocity. Now see, here m will be equal to force is there, time is there, v will be just inverse t. In one line you get the answer d. Got it?
Okay.
If you are able to identify a relation between the quantities like this, prefer this. See, it was so quick in few seconds. Like this I was explaining you. When you will do it by yourself, it will just take 10 seconds to solve this question. Okay? If you are not able to find any relation, if there is no relation existing, you go by this method. Otherwise, prefer this. Okay?
Okay.
All right, just write down this.